Hi everyone, Assalamu alaikum. I'm Dr. Fatima and welcome to my channel MRCPCH Part 1 for Beginners. So today's video is about how to prepare for the AKP exam, and I have been personally waiting to make this video since some time because I actually thoroughly enjoyed my preparation time. During AKP, I loved studying for AKP, and I wanted to share this journey with you guys. But I also wanted to make sure that I give you the correct information. So I waited for my results, and alhamdulillah, I cleared the exam. So now I can actually give you some kind of correct information. So here it goes. At first, please excuse my voice. I am in the library and it's pin drop silence here. Also, I've got pharyngitis, so kindly bear with me. So, today we are going to see how to study for the AKP exam. Before studying for any exam, you must have three things in your mind very clear. Only then you should go for the exam. First thing is that this was taught to me by one of my seniors. So, first thing is that what to study, that is, what are the materials you need to study. The materials are these. You'll find them on the screen now. Alright. Second point is from where to study. So you have found all this, you have seen these are the names of the materials. Now you want to know from where you can get the materials from where. Either you can get it printed out from online because it's a lot of materials. I don't know if it's available, it will be available in your local market or bookstore, or if you're okay with the PDF, you can get from the PDF. Now the AKP materials, all the study materials for AKP that I have personally followed, I've posted on my channel all about AKP. You can take it, or there are a lot of generous people over the internet. Everybody provides it for free nowadays, so you can definitely find it. So we are done with what to study and from where to study. Now the third most important part is that how to study. Now when you come to how to study, it's the most important part, and you must know that how much time you need, that is your total prep time, and what is the method you should follow. It's different for different people. Now I'm going to share solely what I have followed plus what I think, my opinion on what should be followed. There are a lot of people on the preparation time. I have seen some people preparing in one to 2 months time, just solving the recalls, and they were superhumans. They were able to clear the exams. I've seen people preparing for about 9-10 months, still not being able to clear the exams. So this is totally different according to everybody, but I would say for AKP you should spend at least 5 to 6 months time, because again your idea is not just to clear the exam and carry a tag with you. You want to improve your basics. Good basics never fail in your life. Like, it will never fail you. Wherever you go, whatever you do, it is going to show up in a good way. It's going to reward you. So you should increase, if you want to increase the depth of your understanding about pediatric medicine and everything clinical, so you should take about 5 to 6 months. And also the portions are huge. So I have studied for more than 6 months, and I have divided for better understanding into 3 portions. Okay, so for the first 2.5 to 3 months, I've studied these materials. First, survival in order, then the guidelines, that is pediatric and neonatal guidelines, AKP and FOP cases, new format cases, Abu Bashkir, Abu Nazara cases, and system-wise recalls. Now, how did I study survival? For example, I have taken a system, say nephrology. So I have studied nephrology from survival. Survival is, I think, a 400 or 500 page book. It's not much. It's a very good book. It's a very good book. Okay, so survival, I'll study nephrology from survival. Then I'll follow the cases of nephrology from clinical cases AKP and clinical cases FOP. So if you have cleared FOP recently, it will be a plus point for you, because you won't be having, you won't have the problem of again learning it again and again. You'll have something in your mind. It's easy to remember, and it's really easy to correlate. Third is that I went through the guidelines. Now, what are the guidelines needed for AKP? For AKP, you need a lot of guidelines, better to solve it system wise. For example, for nephrology, you must know, say, UTI, nephrotic syndrome, AGN, and HSP, that is the follow up of HSP. Okay, so when you say UTI, not everything from UTI. For example, what are the investigations that has to be done in UTI based on the age? Atypical UTI, typical UTI, simple UTI. When you say about HSP, what is the follow-up routine in HSP? When you say about nephrotic syndrome, what are the indications of referral to a nephrologist in case of nephrotic syndrome? These are the things that you need from guidelines. Okay, so we are done with guidelines and we go for new format cases. That is new format cases of only nephrology. It is I think provided in one of the schedule PDFs. I think we'll find what are the cases associated with new format. Now about the books, new format, Abu Bashir and Abu Nazara. Abu Bashir and Abu Nazara, I would say study it a bit later. Start with new format because new format is easy to grasp. And when you study these books, you should not be in a hurry. You should have some time of discussion, especially this book should be done in groups. If you study them and read them, you won't be able to understand much. So it's better you study these things just by discussion with somebody. Okay. Next one is that there are some topics like emergency medicine, neonatology, pharmacology, statistics, ethics, safeguarding, adolescent medicine, psychiatry. These topics are not available in the survival guide. So you can study these topics from illustrated textbook of pediatrics or from any other book of your choice. It's the same. After this, you should come to the recall, the system wise. Trust me, if you take each system, it won't take you more than 4 to 5 days to cover. I was following really a slow routine along with my classes and everything with work and stuff, but still I was able to manage it. Then you come to the recalls, that is a categorized recall. So you have done nephrology, survival guide, then you have done the guidelines, AKP, FOP cases of nephrology, new format cases of nephrology, recalls, categorized. Along with this, you should try also, some people try to follow the Bashkir, Abu Nazara books. I have not been able to follow all the cases of the books. I did do. I just did few of the cases from these books. Okay. But new format was a really good book. You need to discuss a lot and it will be definitely beneficial to you. So this, you should continue this practice system wise for about 2.5 to 3 months. Okay. Now next you have 3 months left. In that 3 months, 2 months is just for second revision and the last 1 month is for final revision. Now in the 2 month, what you should do, so you have done reading once. Now in the second part consists of 2 months. In this 2 months preparation, you should do ECG, EEG, audiogram, pictures, radiology, that includes CT, MRI, ultrasound of brain, chest X-ray, normal X-ray, everything. Pictures, that includes regular pictures, umbilical catheterization. Then we have dermatology, ophthalmology pictures, all this. Also ventilator and cardiac catheterization. Okay. Then then you should follow. So you are doing this, all this extra stuff, that is ECG, EEG, audiogram, pictures, radiology, cardiac catheter. This you have done once. You have to make sure before the exam you should be able to do this at least 3-4 times, because these are things that you cannot study once and you'll be done with it. That does not happen here. After that, after you're done with it, or you can do like 1 week you study ECG, the next week you study EEG, the next week you study audiogram. This is what you can do. Now you are going to study in the second part after studying the ECG, EEG all at once, one time. Now go backwards. Now study the recalls, that is the categorized recalls again. And from the recall, whatever the important topics you get, for example the nephrology important topics, go back to survival and study only those important topics. That's it. So initially in the first 2.5 to 3 months, you are studying the main topics from the books and then you're going for recalls. Okay. And for the second part, you're studying recalls and you're going to only survival, not the main book. The reason is that if you study the recalls at first, what will happen? You'll become very biased. You tend to focus on only those points which come frequently in exam. So in exam, if they change the framing of the question, or in general for your own knowledge, you won't be having anything. So that is the reason you should not be starting with the recalls. The recalls should be started after you finish certain books. So this is about the second part. Now let's come to the final part, that is the last 1 to 1.5 months. It should be completely for revision. Here you should do only the recalls. No need to go back to survival or any other books. That's what I did. Just the recalls, completely categorize recalls again and again and again. Okay, completely. I think the whole of the recalls, categorized recalls, you should be able to finish about 3 to 4 times. Some systems, for example, GIT, hepato, immunology, they have certain, and neuro, they have certain atypical questions that needs repeated revision. So you'll need to do recalls about 3 to 4 times, AKP recalls, and you'll be surprised to see that the books and the recalls, they do have quite there's a quite difference between them. And then you study the important guidelines, only the important parts, that is whatever is mentioned in the guideline, and you study the ECG, EEG, audiogram all over again. ECG, EEG, audiogram, pictures, radiology, and cardiac catheter. So it should be a weekly thing, that is in one week. Suppose if you are studying for 4 days, 2 days should be for say the theory part, recalls or whatever books you are studying. One day should be you're going to study 2 hours only pictures, looking at pictures almost every day. The last 1 month you should spend more time in all these separate things like ECG, EEG several times, audiogram, cardiocatheter, pictures of ophthalmology, general pictures, umbilical catheterization, and recalls. When you study this, you'll become so used to it. So by the time you see an exam, even if it's not the same picture, you'll be able to recognize it because you're seeing this for quite some time. So this is how you can, you know, divide your prep time into 3 parts. That is first 3 months, then last 3 months. That is in last 3 months, 2 months is again for revision, and the final 1 month to 1.5 months you can give it for the final touch up. If you follow this method, I think by the time you are near the exam, almost 1 week or so, you can go and do the year wise recall. Once you do the categorized recall, year wise recall won't be any kind of problem. So that's it about AKP, and let me know if you would like to know anything else.